Hello, dear fountain pen lovers out there. Doug here with a new episode of Currently Inked that is long overdue. And while I do have all of these pens here for you today, I have also decided, hey, I need to do a blue study. So I've been inking up a bunch of pens with blue inks that I'm going to share with you in a second. Let's just move these guys over and let's go through them one by one. Starting off with my favorite. I always call it my favorite, but I have a lot of favorites. This is my Lamy 2000 with fuzz and inky fingers. And it is currently inked with Diamine Memory Lane, which might be contaminated. I'm not quite sure. Is that the true color of Memory Lane? I sure hope so. Well, it's definitely pretty. Lamy 2000. This has a double broad oblique nib and it writes beautifully. And the ink is the last of a sample of Memory Lane that I had. Then this is one of the pens that my daughter got for me in Japan, in Tokyo, at Itoya, sorry. This selection of ink color, I don't know, I was not too excited about once I started using it, but the gold brown reminded me, of course, of the gold brown in the maple leaves, but I decided I'm just gonna write it dry. It is a Japan. In German, it said Japan, Japan exclusive. Platinum Sandman. Oroshimaki. And this is a B nib. And in case this is your first time here, this currently inked, I'm using the old Tomoe River paper. So this is Robert Oster Gentle Giant. This is the first time I'm filming at this table, and it's a different table in the same location. And before I had the camera, I had to have the camera mounted to a different little table. And now it's all in the same spot, and I hope that I'm not shaking you. Okay, let's see. Gorgeous pen. Now this is a Mont Blanc Meisterstück that I really got for a steal in Germany 2 years ago. And I never know, one has a screw-off cap and the other Mont Blanc that I have inked has a the other one is the screw cap. This one is the just pull cap. I always get them mixed up. And this is a new to me ink that I got in an ink swap with Lorelei. And I really like it, and it's a good combination in this pen with the double broad oblique pen. Nib, sorry. This is Lennon Toolbar, King Mu, Queen Mu. Okay, let me get my other table. That was funny. Right after I said that, I realized it's not working out and I am shaking you. So here we go. This should be a lot better. Next up is, I zoomed you in a little bit too. This is another Mont Blanc, and it's called a Mont Blanc 32. No idea if it's a Meisterstück or not, but it is a fine nib. Goodness, focus, come on. There you go, I hope. It's a sample from Sarah. Happy late birthday. Mont Blanc 32. This is one of the two pens that I have specifically inked up for my planner for finer writing. And this is Color Verse Delicious Sleep. There you go, you can see them all. Haven't used this one in a long time, and you probably remember that I love vintage pens. This is one of my favorites of those, and I already have the Pelikan hub in mind. When I ink up Pelikan pens right now. Oh well, look at that. I think I messed up that. That is Delicious Sleep. So this is definitely one of my favorite vintage Pelikan pens, even though it's actually the only one that I have had to repair. If you are uncertain about buying a vintage pen and you just buy it used off of eBay where you don't know anything about the pen, Pelikan pens are very reliable. Like I said, only with this one I had to have something repaired. There was something broken. And my friend Joel in Alamogordo did that for me. And this has an incredibly juicy nib, as all the Pelikan pens usually do. It's a Pelikan 400. Brown dawn with a double broad oblique nib, gold, and the ink is Robert Oster khaki. And yes, it is spelled with 2 H's. Beautiful pen, beautiful nib. Another favorite vintage Pelikan is this one. It has a slight damage on the body of the pen. It's always been this way as long as I remember. And this is a medium oblique nib, and you will see in a second how juicy it is and that it's almost as broad as the double broad oblique one. Well, maybe not. Such a great pen. One of my favorite writers. Pelikan 400 OM. And this ink is a sample. The khaki was a sample from my friend Alexandra, and this was a sample from Sherry. And it is Wilting Thicket. Wilting. Sorry. It's such a cool chroma shader. So changes actually color while it dries, and I just love it. It goes from green to this brown. Yeah, so cool. And now I have another Pelikan. This is of course, a modern one, an M200, and I have inked it with diamine. Crocodile green, and it keeps building up crud up here at the tip of the nib. And I've had it in a different pen, this ink, and I don't think it did that in the other pen, which is kind of really odd. But the color of the ink is just amazing. It's a Pelikan M200 with a broad nib, and it is a green demonstrator. And what I do with the Pelikan pens, I always take out the nib section to clean them, so they're really, yeah, that's a great way to get all the ink residue out. But then I also, when I have a sample, I often fill it from the front and not with the piston filler. This is, I hope I didn't say that this was diamine. No, I think it's Robert Oster. Hope I'm not messing up the brands, but I think it's Robert Oster Crocodile Cream. Crocodile Cream. Next is another vintage favorite, but Gehas, I have not always had such great luck with the used pens, vintage pens. This one specifically, I found out when I wanted to ink it that it has no suction. So, I mean, the inside piece does not even move into the window. I can, you can see it because there's a window and it never shows up. So yet again, removed the nib, filled it from the front. And I am not sure if this one has a specific name, but I call it the Jürgen Schulz because it has an engraving. Okay. And this is definitely a broad nib. And the ink is what I call Duck Mix. And I gave it the name Musong. Yet another favorite. This is a vintage Faber-Castell, probably from the 80s, I would think. And after I inked this up, this actually was the one that gave me the idea to do a study in blue. I should actually have reversed the order of the pens. Shoot, whatever, too late now. So, for the longest time, I use this literally all the time for letters. And I've exchanged letters with my husband for years, and Kraken's awake. So this was almost all the time in use. And because I worked for a child welfare emergency service, I had these downtimes in between where it was kind of like we only headed out for emergencies, so I had downtime in between where I could write, so I always brought my pens or some pens. And can you see, I did not care at all. These guys got dinged up pretty good. Yeah, I love the pen. Not sure what the nib is, if it's gold. It's such a good writer and so juicy. So, and now here comes the second one of the pens that I have filled up for specifically for use in my planner. It's not a piston filler, it's a touchdown. And actually I had opened it once here and messed up the whole system, and I had to give it back to my friend Joel to fix it for me. I was lucky because he was in Albuquerque at our last pen club meeting. And so I showed him, look what I did. And he fixed it for me. And also he explained how to fill it, which I had no idea about it. So, Sheaffer Imperial Touchdown. Fine nib for planner use, and this is wonderful classic diamond orange. Very cool nib. I forget how these are called. This is a little bit dirty. Okay, that's better. Come on. Okay, and next, here come the ones that I have just filled. I had a little bit of a party. I knew this was coming because I switched from a 10 slot case to the box here, which on this space empty. Yeah, gotta fill that space, right? So this was a sample that I just emptied again from my friend Alexandra. I hope that it made it through to the nib because sometimes it can take a while. Yes, here we go. So this is Opus 88 Picnic Blue. Broad nib. I love these pens because you can I open them in the middle and then I can just dump in the sample vial. It's so great. Yeah. Robert Oster, Miami. Oh, what a great match for the pen. Don't you think? Yeah, awesome. Next one. I just saw this on Lorelei's Currently Inked, and I thought I have to fill mine, ink mine. I had this with a medium nib, but at some point I replaced it with a double broad. And this was also a sample. And that was from Des, and it was Konpeki. Oh, so juicy. Yep. brighter. And now come the bottles. So I will, now we get into the bottles. So I'm going to give you a little smudge. And all of these are blue inks. This one is one that I've always admired greatly. My girlfriend in Hamburg, she gifted this one to me, and it's called Queen's Blue. The same ink bottle shape as the Jacques Herbin inks. And I put this into a vintage Matador Click pen. I think I got this from my dad, and it's called Matador Click because it clicks shut. Nuts. Yeah, I know, it's weird. And yet again, you see a little bit of residue right at the start because I just filled it and I have not been writing with it. This is definitely a broad nib, and the ink by Traut Bethke. I think that is a high-end stationery shop in Darmstadt, if I'm not completely mistaken. But of course, it must have been available in Hamburg, where I lived at the time. I doubt she went to Darmstadt. This gold, I can't see, sorry guys. Oh, now I know how I get the ink on my fingers, because I roll the nib on my finger. Oh my Lord. Goodness gracious. All right, that was the Matador Click. And now we have Lake Placid Blue, Private Reserve. This is another ink that I have had. I'm pretty certain I bought this in Germany 100 years ago in Hamburg. That was a little bit much. Sorry, that was loud a bit. That was a bit much ink. I put this one in a Parker 51 duotone. I believe that this is the one that I got in Paris. I'm not completely mistaken. I could have looked it up, but I didn't. Sorry. Next, I chose a pen that I haven't used in ages, and this is a TWSBI Mini. It was actually my first TWSBI fountain pen, and I bought it here in Albuquerque, and that was when I did not know how to pronounce TWSBI. I called it the TWSBI pen. Yes, I did, and I'm gonna own it. This is Colorverse Tar Heel. It's probably what on the paler side. Plug it in there with my trusted knife here. Definitely more gray leaning, but I needed something not quite that blue, or I knew I was going to get super bored once I really start using these guys. These bottles, however, not a fan. Colorverse, please, please. Okay. Okay, wow, what's going on? I haven't used this in ages. Let's see, hopefully it'll work now. I have that problem with my TWSBI Go sometimes also, that in the beginning it just drips ink if I overfill it. So I don't know if that was the same thing here. TWSBI Mini, and this is a stub nib. Colorverse. Tar Heel. Oh, what a great ink. Oh, this is going to be fun with this nib. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Oh, yet again, wrong order, because the next pen, I will sort them later in my box, because this is another Parker and it should be next to its sibling up there. And what I have here is Diamond Celadon Cat, which is going to be interesting in comparison to the Colorverse Tar Heel. Oh, so much greener. I thought they would be so much more alike. But nope. I put this into a vintage Parker Duofold. For the longest time I called this a double broad nib, but I think it's really a stub. See this okay? Maybe now. Do you? Oh my goodness. I don't think you can. I'm so sorry if I can't get this in focus. Wow. It's a beautiful pen, a beautiful nib. Okay. Okay. Move on. I haven't used this in a while, but I love it. Such a good writer. I call it a stub also. And I did want to point out the filling system. It's a push and release. So I do that 3 times in the ink bottle, and then hopefully it's full. See, there you go. Got my fingers inky yet again. So we have well, this doesn't really give me a comparison of blues, especially in that yeah. I have all these light ones now, but I needed that for my own happiness. This is a gorgeous pen. Can you see the pattern? Yeah, so pretty. And now, last but not least, another diamine. And here we go. This is another darker ink again, and I chose to put it in the Lamy Linea. Thankfully, now I know what this model of a pen is called. Finally, thank you again. So this is Diamond China Blue. Here we have another darker one. What is this? Here. I have a cartridge converter in this pen. So juicy. I think it came with a medium nib, and I replaced that. So, and here we have Diamond China Blue. And now we have a box that is almost full, but I have just decided I need to ink up my other Platinum 3776. And I will be back. Hold on. Don't go away. Please stay. I'll be back. One moment. I decided I will ink up 2 more pens, even though I don't really even have the space on this page, but we'll make it happen, right? I recently got this pen gifted, and I just love it so much. It has a music nib. It's a vintage pen, and I was going to use this Lamy Amazonite. It's one of the crystal ink line in this. Bought this a long time ago in San Francisco at the Lamy flagship store, where I have purchased my Lamy 2000 with a double broad nib. Okay. I had a similar ink in this pen before, and it looked so good that I thought, oh, this is going to be a nice one. Dazzy pen, music nib, and it is Lamy Amazonite. Okay. Doesn't look like much, but so good. Such a good writer. And next, I wanted to give this ink another try. It's a weird one. I've never had much success to get this to write well. I don't know. I think it's a very dry ink. So I thought I'm gonna try it in my Platinum 3776 Chartres. And hopefully it's gonna be fun. Ink color is nice, and it's definitely one of the lighter ones. I actually remember I had this ink in this TWSBI Mini at some point and could not get it to write, so I would enjoy it. So hopefully this is going to be better because this pen has a music nib. Okay, I think this is going to be good. Platinum 3776 Chartres. Music. Touch, yeah. Light washed. Jeez. So, yep. You see, my friends, that I really am willing to try all the blues. All right, I closed the shade so I can actually show you the inks a little bit better in their dryness. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.